This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to show you through your Autumn Ridge 27 RLI outfitter. Okay, I'm starting here on the door side. Okay, and I will show you that you have a quick connect for your propane right here. So when you're connecting a grill or a griddle or whatever you have to connect, you'll just put the hose male end in there, let it snap shut, and then turn the gas on like so. Okay, and this goes directly to the propane tank, so it draws from the propane tanks. You've got regular stabilizers. Just crank down. It takes a 3/4 inch nut, or excuse me, a 3/4 inch socket. That valve you see there is the drain valve for your fresh water tank. Okay, all right, let me get up here. Okay, you've got a power awning with an LED strip. This is just 110 AC. This is a quick, or a plug for a solar battery charger. If you were to get a solar panel to charge the battery, that's where you would plug it in. Okay. Pass-through storage. There's the stabilizer jack crank. And then the smaller crank is for your tongue jack. In case the tongue jack fails, you can stick it in the top of it. There's a plug that comes out, and you can crank it manually. Okay. All right. Moving forward, you have a deep cycle marine battery, two 30-pound LP tanks. This is the LP regulator. This regulator is automatic. It'll draw this one down first, then when it's empty it'll switch to this one and back and forth. This is just a gauge. You can point that indicator at the tank to see if it's turned red. If it turns red, that means that it's empty. You get a power tongue jack here with a light up and down. Okay. This is a reducer to reduce your 30 amp cord down to a 15 amp cord to plug in at home. One thing you have to remember though is if you plug in at home in your 15 amp system, you can't run the air conditioner on this trailer because it'll eventually pop a circuit breaker. You'd have to have a 30 amp plug wired in your house in order to do that. So you still can run everything else, just not the air conditioner. Okay, this is your water station here. This is just a quick connect for a sprayer, so you can hose down kids and dogs and feet and bicycles or whatever else you need. This is where your city water hooks up right here. So 9 times out of 10 you're just going to hook the hose up here at the campground and you're all set. Now this one, you can, if you look at the drawing here, you can actually change the position of this like that, and then this will fill up your demand tank. The reason you want to fill your demand tank is if you go to an older state park that doesn't have plumbing on the campsite but has a fill station when you first go in the park, you can fill your tank and you turn on your pump inside the trailer and you're all set. You can let me put this back. You can you have regular water just like you would with city water, regular water pressure. This is to operate your pump out here. This is just a little light, and this is the black tank flush. Let me get into that here. If you come down here to your dump station, okay, you've got your black valve and your gray valve. The black valve is for your black tank, which holds wastewater from your toilet, so it's toilet waste and water. And then the gray is for your sink and shower. It's a gray water tank. What you'll normally do is you'll put your hose on here, put it in the dump station, then you'll pull the black tank valve. You'll switch over to here and you'll pull the gray tank valve after that, because the gray water is cleaner than the black water and it'll flush it out. Okay, now after that you can come up here and you can hook the hose at the dump station right to here. This is the black tank flush. There's the directions for it right there. basically you're going to turn the water on, and it's got, the black tank has jets inside, and it's just going to clean the black tank out better, clean off the sensor so you get a good reading on the monitor panel, that sort of thing. So it's a really good thing to do. Just always make sure that your black valve is open before you turn on the water to for your flush. Okay, this is your water heater on the outside. The only thing you really have to know out here is this is the plug to drain it, and that's where the plug goes, right there. Right now it's drained. Before you pull this plug, always let the pressure out here so you don't get drenched when you do that. Okay, the switches to operate it are inside. This is the service panel for your refrigerator. You don't really have to go in there. It's just for service. This is the vent for your range hood. Now there's a baffle in there, and you can reach up there and you can pull on it, and it'll, or actually push up on these two, I don't know if you can see them, but there's two little thumb pads there you can push up on, and it'll free up the baffle so it flaps freely. So when you're running the vent hood, you want it to flap freely. All other times you're going to keep that shut. Okay? Alright, so this is your power cord. It's a 30 amp power cord, 25 feet long. And I told you we have the adapter to plug it in at home, but you cannot run your air conditioning with it. This is just a second fill for your freshwater tank, okay? That housing up there is for this trailer's pre-wired for a backup camera. The type of camera that fits in there is a Furrion. You have to get the camera that fits in there into the housing, and it connects to the plug inside. We do sell them if you're interested. You can talk to our parts people, but it has to be the proper camera to fit in there. Also, while I'm looking up here, you have to remember you have to inspect your roof. It's very important. So you figure in the spring and in the fall and once in the middle of the summer, you'll go up on your roof and walk around, and you'll look at all the seals on the roof. Everything is sealed with a lap sealant called Dicor, and basically what you're going to do is you're just going to look at it to make sure there's no separation or cracking starting. You're just inspecting it just in case that happens. Eventually, with all trailers, it will need to be resealed, but the idea is if you inspect it 3 times a year, you'll always be on top of it, and when you get to the point, it could be years from now, you don't know. That's why you're inspecting it. But when you get to that point, you'll be aware of it, and you can have it taken care of, or take care of it yourself, whichever you do. Okay? All right, we're inside. So, I'm going to send this slide out here, which is the door side slide. You can see it's headed out right now. Your trailer has not been cleaned yet, in case you haven't noticed, but it will be cleaned by the time you pick it up. We're just trying to get these videos done because we're short-handed and we're always short of time. Okay. So, right there, as soon as you hear the ratcheting, you take your finger off the button. That's a Lippert overfloor slide out. This particular slide out here is called a Schwintech. You can tell by the 2 tracks on each side. We'll send that one out now. So it sounds like a sewing machine. It's basically made for heavy loads. This slide has the range in it and the refrigerator and the entertainment center, so it's a heavier duty slide out. This one will not ratchet when you get all the way out. It'll just stop. You'll hear it when we get there. Like so. Okay. So, your awning is a power awning. You're going to extend it right here. So I'll just sort of show you. See if you can see it. Hopefully we can see it from here. There it goes right there. Let me see if you're seeing it there. Okay, so it's rolling out. Basically, you roll it out until you can see the awning tube. All right, which is right there. So that's extended, okay? Never leave it out unattended. If you're not at the campsite, you don't want your awning out because the wind can damage it very quickly. So you have to always attend it, be attending the, or let me back up and say this right. Never leave it out unattended. If you're leaving the campsite, roll it in. Okay? I think most insurance claims are probably for wind damage to their awning. Okay, this is the power converter. Basically, what this does is it converts 110 AC, which is regular household current, down to 12 volt DC. Everything that can run on 12 volt DC in a trailer does. Some things have to be AC current, like the air conditioner or the microwave, things like that. The rest is DC. So what happens here is you've got regular household circuit breakers here, and they're labeled. And then it converts the power down to 12 volt DC. And you have regular General Motors style auto fuses here. Okay, and those are labeled also. So that's what this does. There's also a fan inside. When you put a low on it, you can hear the fan come on. It's quiet, but you can still sort of hear it. And if any of these fuses were to blow, they'll light up, and you can see them through this perforation here. So you'll know that a fuse is blown. Also, this is a battery tender, so it's going to sense how much energy your battery needs up front. And if it's totally charged, it'll just trickle a couple amps. If it's low, it'll send 10 or whatever it needs. Okay, it always keeps your battery charged as long as you're plugged in. Okay, this table here, you can take the poles out from underneath and then set the table onto these cleats here, these ledges, and then fill in the space with the backs, and you've got a bed there. You got two recliners. Then you got this fold-out bed. I'll come back to this in a second. Let me just finish with the kitchen appliances. Okay, so you've got a Dometic Americana type refrigerator. It's a gas absorption refrigerator. That means it doesn't have a compressor like your refrigerator at home. That's why it doesn't make any noise, and that's why it can run on gas. All right, so basically you got two buttons up here, on and off, so we'll turn it on. Okay, so now we're on auto. I think you can see that. I can shut it off so you can see go on and off. That's off. So that's on auto. Auto means electric. The reason they call it auto is because if you're using electricity and you have a power failure at the campground, let's say, it'll automatically switch over to gas so you don't spoil your food. It always seeks out electricity first, and if it can't find it, then it'll go to gas. You can also run it on gas dedicated by going like that when you're pulling it down the road. If it does not light, this check light will come on, right? If that happens, you'll just shut it off and turn it back on again, and it'll light the second time for sure. Each thing, whether it's the water heater or the furnace or the refrigerator, makes 3 attempts to light each time, so it's rare that they won't light in the first cycle. Okay, and one last thing. This thing here is called a thermistor. You want it all the way up. The higher you go with it, as you can see from this little decal there, the cooler it gets. So you're going to have it up all the way. And I mean, if you're out in really cool weather, early in the spring, late in the fall, whatever, you might have to back it off a little bit. But generally speaking, you're going to have it up all the way. Okay? I don't know if we got the gas turned on, but let me see. Yeah, I can hear it. So there you go. So these you just spark. So let me back up so you can see it. You just turn it to light. Then you're going to rotate this clockwise, and it lights. It's that simple. The oven is a little different. It works more like an older water heater used to work, and some still do work like this. But under here, you have to take my word for it, there's a pilot light back there, so you need a grill lighter. Okay? So then you come up to here, to the oven section. You're going to go to pilot. Then you're going to go to pilot. Then you're going to depress this and hold it. You'll go down here and light the pilot light. And still holding this down, after it lights, you'll hold it for 10 or 15 seconds to let it heat up. Then you go to whatever operating temperature you want, and it'll cycle on and off like a regular oven. But when you go back to off, the flame goes off, and so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay, now I got to get up again here. Hold on. All right. The microwave works like any other microwave. The range hood, just got a fan and a light in it. Okay. Now, I left this panel off so you could see. I don't know what you know about camping, if you know everything or if you're a beginner or what, but I'll just talk to you about the water heater briefly and antifreeze. You can't get antifreeze into the water heater tank because it'll leave a foul taste and a bad smell. So to avoid that, they give you valves on the back here. Okay, so this is the water heater tank. You can see there's a valve here, and another valve up here. So normally this line here that goes between the blue and the red line is called a bypass line. So before you pump an antifreeze in, you're going to shut this valve off. That goes into the water tank. Shut the valve off up here. That comes out of the water tank. And then you would open this valve. That way, antifreeze, when you're pumping it in the before the winter time, it won't be able to get into the water tank, so it just bypasses through this line. It loops around. That's why it's called a bypass line. Whenever the handle of this valve is parallel with a line, that's the one that's open. So right now it's bypassed, right? So before I close this, I'm going to put it into camping mode for you. I will close the bypass line, and I will open the in and the out lines to the water heater, so it'll just fill up normally with water. Never run the water heater without water in it, okay? So you'll have to, if you don't know about winterizing, you'll have to educate yourself a bit and learn more about it. It's very simple, but the bottom line is if you have antifreeze in the system or you're going to pump it in there, the water heater has to be bypassed, okay? This panel I took off is held on with 4 screws there. Let me get one to show you. All the screws in this trailer are number 2 square-headed screws. I don't know if there you can see it there. So you got to get a bit for your drill for that. Okay. All right. So, okay. Let's see. There's something else here. Okay, this is the carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. It's right here on the end of the island. It should always be green like it is. It'll detect carbon monoxide buildup or a leak, an LP leak. So if it ever goes off, you're going to go outside, shut off your tanks, and figure out what's going on. But it should always be green. If not, you get it serviced, okay? This is your entertainment center. There's a backing plate here for a TV. And you have your signal booster for your digital antenna. You can shut it off, but you'll always have it on if you're using the antenna. You got power there. And then you got a radio, basically. It's it's got a lot of different features that you can stream off this USB here, for example. And you'll have to read the manual a bit on it, but it has enough functions for camping for sure. And it comes with a remote also. Alright. Okay, so I told you, let's see. I told you I was going to show you the couch, so let me do that real quick. These cushions just pull off. I'll try and do the camera work as best I can with a cell phone, and I'm very close to it, so it's hard to do it. But these pull off, right? Then you're just going to grab it down here, okay? And then you're going to pull it open like this. I'm going to have to switch hands here. Pull the leg down like I just did. Then you're going to set it like that. Let me back up so you can see it. Then, this panel flips down like that. So there you have a bed, and it's foam. It's not bad. It's not like the old Haida beds used to be where you have springs and bars in your back. It's pretty good. Okay. Also, I was over here at the control panel. I didn't show you the how to monitor everything. To light your water heater, you just do this. Always make sure there's water in it before you light it. Here's the second switch for your water pump. Remember, there was one outside. Now you check your battery. It's fully charged. Always check it when you're not plugged in. Fresh water is empty. You can see you can graduate up in 1/3 increments till it's full. Same with the black. Same with the gray. So as it fills, these lights will light up. When you get past 2/3, you know it's about time to dump the tanks. Okay, the shower works like any other shower. The sink works like any other sink. This GFCI, all the plugs will be wired through this, so if they pop, then you'll have to come here to reset it. Okay. Now the toilet, the rule is you can't use it dry. So let's say you just pulled into the campground, you plugged your trailer in, you hooked up the water, and turn it on. So then you'll come in here and you'll take your toilet chemical, whichever chemical you're using, you'll throw it right in there in the bowl, whatever a dose is for the particular product you're using. Then you'll step on the pedal, and because there's a little residual water so you can see it, but it'll come out much quicker. And you'll put about 1 gallon or 2 of water in there. There's no way to tell that there's nothing on the monitor panel that'll tell you what 1 gallon is. But you just hold it for a little while, and you'll get used to putting enough in there to use it. The bottom line is you can't start using it dry, so you always got to get it a little bit of water and chemical in there. Now let's say you're going to stay at the same campground and it was full and you had to dump it. You would dump it, and then you would come back in here and repeat the procedure. Throw the chemical in there, put in about a gallon or two of water. Now, when you take your foot off this, it'll only fill about up to here. So before you use it, there's a spot here, if you can see, right there. I can push the pedal down, but the trap isn't even opening. When I do that, water will come out. So you can fill it as high as you want before you use it, but you'll have to do that each time before you use it. Okay, one other thing about the bathroom is there's a fan. Always use that when you use the shower. You're able to pull the humidity out. It's very important to pull the humidity out. Okay, so the bedroom, you just have a bed with a foot locker at the end. You have, let me look around here a little bit. Okay, you have a TV backer here, and video and power. All right, so you can hang a TV there. This is the emergency escape window. So you can just go like this with it for ventilation, but if you have to escape, you would grab a hold of this tab, pull the screen loose, push this all the way through, and then you can just roll out the window and land on your feet in a perfect world. So that's how you get out in an emergency. Okay. All right. I think that about covers it. Let me walk around to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. The thermostat. There we go. So the thermostat, all these lights, by the way, have a button in the middle. So the thermostat, you just poke it once to light it up, then you go through. There's the fan, which is the air conditioner running without the compressor. There's the air conditioner, and there's the furnace. Everything has a lag time before it starts. You can hear the furnace hasn't turned on yet, but it just did now. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it did turn on. So keep in mind there's a lag time turning everything on and off. So to shut the furnace off, you'll just light it up and push it one more time to off, and it will go off. But it will run till it purges itself. There's a lag time, but it will shut off. All right, so I think we've covered it all. Let me look around here. I did the monitor panel, shows you winterization. Yep, I think that's it. I think we've got it. So, if you have any other questions, you can call us and talk to us. Plus, every appliance in here has its own manual. You can always go to manufacturers' websites. They got tons of videos. And like I said, you can always call us and we can talk you through everything and answer your questions for you. So thanks for purchasing from National RV Detroit, and goodbye.